If I feel like I'm talking too much, I'm gonna stop. Okay, I'm going to have nice, introverted, build each other up every day, all the way conversation. This is an introverted channel. I think being outgoing is not all that in a bag of chips. You can be friendly, you can be cordial to people, but I think the most people with the most luminosity, best sense of humor, most vivacious people are people like my mom. Like my mom, she's so off the rails amazing. Always said you shouldn't care what other people think, because truly strong people, strong in the mind, strong in the heart, people that do good by other people, they're not always thinking about what other people think. And I'm not talking about how you, I mean, there's nothing wrong with caring about what your family and friends think, but if you're just so worried about chasing every trend, it's just so pointless. And some people act like the only purpose to be on social media is to be viral, or to copycat what is viral, or to speculate about how so-and-so was viral and now they're not, and then this is the new viral, and what can we do to get views, virality, but nothing just about having a consistent dialogue and reaching out to people that have similar values and life goals to you. To me, I love to talk about long hair, but long hair is just one facet of who I am. So years ago, I did make a video about how I didn't like it when other women would kind of put me down for having long hair, and I realized at that time that topic resonated with a lot of people. And then I started noticing that I know a lot of the put down culture will be like, oh, and this is why I'm not into this whole girl versus pick me thing, because I've noticed a lot of bullied women, they'll use that girl mentality to act like, well, we're girls and you're a pick me because you don't get along with us or you don't agree with us. It's kind of a bully behavior in my opinion. I really don't like, I'm just not a fan of that particular school of thought, I guess. Girl is, don't be any of that. Don't be a girl's girl. Don't be a pick-me. Be you. Stop following whatever keyword trend they keep putting out there. You know, you can, because I know now TV's not as big and more people, especially younger people, are on social media. But you can choose what you want your feed to be. Because honestly, a lot of things that people say are viral on their feed, I never see. Because I don't have an interest in those things, and I'm just getting back into doing and reading and focusing more on things that I find of value and substance to my life. I should have probably put some oil in my hair right away, I feel like. As I'm brushing out this section of hair, and then adding the oil in. I love how I still have orange from the henna. So henna's fun. I just feel like henna's good in a more running format. I don't like super thick. You can start out thick, but I believe in kind of thinning out your henna, and it just works better, honestly. It applies better. It's more like a hair, it can be your own hair glaze without adding conditioner, which I just think from past experiences can make the henna act weird. I don't think you should add things that have preservatives or chemicals to henna. Just my opinion. I feel like mixing henna with conditioner defeats the purpose of henna, because that's not the way henna was applied in the past. I know some people swear up and down, but I just don't think it's good to mix henna with conditioner, and I think it's really a bad idea. Personally, wouldn't do it. If you're gonna do henna, water and a little bit of oil, I used to do coconut milk, but I just think water and a little bit of oil, and the runnier your henna is, the better. I know some people are like, oh, but it's gonna run it everywhere, and how will I apply it properly? So what if it's runny? It's like this running ritual where it just runs all over you. Do it in the shower. Do it outside. It does not have to be like hair dye. I think people want henna to be as mess free. Well, hair dye can be messy, but hair dye is more contained because it's a chemical product that's manufactured in a lab. So it has a certain consistency, because hairstylists apply henna and you couldn't have something that didn't have like some sort of control to it in hair salons. And this is another reason I think hair salons in the West have never really taken off with henna. Although in India, and there is one hair salon in the US, Henna Silk, where they actually apply henna. So like if you wanted a salon experience, but they're like, one, I don't think there's that many. I heard Lush did, but I think Lush's product is seriously overpriced, because years ago, people were like, Lush isn't real henna. It has henna in it, but the thing I don't like about it is its henna looks gritty. It's not like finely sifted, in my opinion. It just looks gritty. And then they add oil in, but you can do that yourself so much cheaper. So I feel like you're just paying for something that you could do at home very easily. And once you buy organic henna and you add some hot water, and yes, you can add hot water to your henna. It does not kill the henna. There's so much mythology behind henna. People are like, you have to add lemon juice. You can't put it in a steel bowl. I found out that was erroneous too, because a lot of people in the Middle East and Pakistan and India use metal bowls for henna. And there's like all this, and what it turned out was it was a thought that, oh, if your henna had metallic salts in it, it might react with the metal bowl. But you don't want to use henna with metallic salts anyway. So if you're using organic henna, it doesn't really matter what kind of container you put it in. It really doesn't. Like, there's just all this mythology. And then there's some people that say their hennas act differently than others. I mean, there's different varieties of henna, but one brand's henna is not going to be like magically different, because I looked into it and a lot of the henna companies source from the similar companies. I mean, it's like any other product. It's just not as widespread these days, because most people don't want to have another hair. People want the easy thing, and they want a chemical hair dye because it's easy to apply. And that's another thing too. I don't understand like the people, they're like, okay, I feel like, I don't know, I don't really have this issue. Like, I still have a lot of really dark hair. I might have a couple gray hairs here and there, but that's not why I henna. That's not why I henna. I just love that it's a strengthening treatment and that it adds like red highlights to my hair. But apparently, I don't know, there's a lot of women that say they're going gray in their 30s, and like really gray. Not just, and that's fine, that's natural. But like they're like, oh, we're like not dyeing our hair anymore, and now we're being silver sisters. And I don't know, like, I'm just wondering, I'm not a cosmetologist, but could it just be stress? Like, because I've been reading studies about how sometimes you can reverse some graying, and there is a connection to stress, and yes, a lot of it's genetic, but it seems like these women that want to go gray, like they're acting like the only way is either chemical hair dye or gray, and there's no in between. Like, you can't do henna. And I'm like, I don't understand, because I feel like it's just so. And another thing about the gray people, they act like, oh, if you have any of your dyed hair in there, it has to be cut off because it has to be all natural, or you're in the other camp where you're chemical hair dye club. And it's like there's no in between. You can't just do henna, which would be natural. It just enhances the natural color of your hair. Henna's not going to make your hair all one color like a hair dye. That's why cosmetologists have to put highlights in your hair, because chemical hair dye is just one color. It might have some dimension to it these days, but it's not like henna. Henna is literally just going to enhance your natural color. If you have dark hair like me, it's going to maybe give you some red highlights in the sunlight. If your hair is lighter, some people complain that it builds up over time and it makes their hair more coppery. But I love those, like, I know in our society a lot of people hate like brassy, coppery, but I like that. I think it's beautiful. I just don't go with whatever is trendy. So for me, henna is just the only thing I will ever put on my hair. But you have to be careful too when you do henna. I believe you can't just like be crazy about it. You have to apply very carefully, in my opinion. So yes, you shouldn't worry about what other people think. You should think about yourself, your family, your friends, people in your circle. Not everybody deserves a place at the table of your life. And most people, like, it doesn't matter what they think because they're not thinking about you, okay? And this is hardcore truth. I don't like people that are selfish or only put themselves first or always think about themselves and don't think about, so I do think about other people, but I think about people that are in my circle. I don't think about the trendy people or I don't know, things like that. And like some people get really mad at me and they're like, oh, like other people, I know you say you don't care what other people think, but hardcore, strong cooking people, this is who we are. And I realize something, the people that don't get that, I go quiet on my western front and back end. I might not talk to somebody for a long time when they tell me some sort of gibberish like that, because I'm like, oh, their value plummeted, you know? And plummeted off a cliff. Because they're so worried about being popular, about how they're presenting. Like, all they care about is their image. And that's it. And your image is worth nothing with people that have actual substance and value with you. People that care about you. People that want to build you up all the way every day. Those are the only people that count, in my mind. I'm not worried about what's trendy windy. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. Trendy windy stuff is just so passe. Like, who cares? There's always going to be a new trend. I bet you dancing on cucumbers will be the next trend or something. Who knows? Or somebody's going to go beep, beep, my nose. Or it could be anything. Like, if you trend just because you're talking about a guy in finance, like, and he has blue eyes, like, what? Like, I just heard about that yesterday, that was a trend. I'm like, maybe because I'm under 30. It might be another thing too. I think it comes with age and maturity. Once you hit 30 and above, like your mindset just like, it just changes a lot too, I think. I think when you're under 30, I know people are thinking when they're under 30, oh, I'm so mature, I've seen so much of life. No. Hit 30. Hit 30 and it changes again. And it changes again. Because you're going to see so many new things in life. You're going to have so much more perspective that you're like, you know what? It's good to be young. Being young is fun. And I think this is why a lot of maybe older people are having a reaction right now. Because in the past, social media didn't like really show what young people were doing all the time. I think older people just kind of kept to their own selves, so they weren't as on social media as much. And I think now people are seeing everything they were doing. And a lot of older people, they kind of resent younger people being young. But that's, to me, that's lame, because I'm like, they were young too, and I remember what Generation X, which I'm in, was doing like 20 years ago. Same things that Generation Z is doing. They just weren't doing it on social media. They might be more righteous than you sometimes, and they're on social media like telling you, oh, we didn't do that when we were little. Yes, they did. But when you hit 30, it's just, things change again. You'll see, you get more life perspective. I mean, some people are old souls from youth, but a lot of people right now, they just think everything is so trendy. Of course, there's older people too. They still don't get, it doesn't matter what other people think. The only people that matters what they think are people that care about you and care about others in your small circle. Like, adopt the introverted lifestyle. And it brings so much more happiness and joy than all these seeking popularity, seeking outgoingness, seeking all this social validation. And I think you can be online without constantly seeking social validation. I think you can be online as an outlet, as a way to communicate with people, as a way to connect with people. Because since the pandemic, especially since our world is so technologically driven, it's really hard for people nowadays not to be online, ever. So I don't think you have to be in two different camps. One, just like the hair dye versus gray people that are like, oh, you're either in this camp or that camp. I don't think you have to be always online or always offline. I think you can find a middle ground everywhere. You just have to look for that middle ground within yourself. Oh, and clean your hairbrush out as you go. Pro tip. So, this thing I love to do. I have to clean out my hairbrush. It just keeps things better. Clean your brush. It's so easy. It's one of the easiest things you can do. Clean your hairbrush. Just do it. I think my hair looks a little bit more like red hued. I mixed my head up with olive oil, and you know what? It just, even though I still had some difficulties combing out my hair, I was actually, I put conditioner in my hair too. Garnier all the way. I'm loving Garnier right now. I'm having a Garnier movement. I'm using the last of my Selsun Blue up, but I think just like before I do a henna treatment, because I kind of felt like I liked Selsun Blue, but I was just beginning to feel like it dried out my hair a lot. So I went to the Garnier like clarifying shampoo, which has a little bit of salicylic acid in it, but I think I'm just going to use up this bottle of Selsun Blue Naturals, and I'm probably done with it. Because I've graduated to Garnier's now. It was a good shampoo for a while. I just had it. I just feel like I used it too much, really. back section. I'm gonna use the comb first. Just kind of break up the tail. See, I love that. After I trim my hair, you can see that line that kind of goes down like that. And that's how you would treat. I finally, because a long time of me self-trimming my hair, it's always kind of had that Yui hemline, but I finally just went back to doing where you just do it low pony behind your back and you trim it, and then what you want is it kind of goes down like that. So technically, like the pieces in the back are almost a little bit shorter than some of the front pieces, but cutting it that way gives you that straight across hemline. So that's the trick. You kind of want it to like slant down like that. And you know what? I'm done with the men that are like, you should never trim your hair. No, because I always used to trim my hair when I was on my first super long hair journey, and the second time growing my hair long. And I achieved the longest lengths ever. Trim your hair if you feel like you want it, because as a woman or as a man that's invested in long hair for the long haul, like having stronger ends will keep your hair healthier and keep it from breaking off. And there's some hair fetish people. You know, I uninstalled Instagram this week for 2 days, 3 days. Do I even want it back? I don't know. I kind of don't. I kind of am loving life without Instagram. I really am, because I'm just not on the gram. Like the gram really, it really doesn't make me feel love for social media. I've just never loved the gram. It's okay. It's not bad. There's a couple people I like talking to on there. But then like when you start talking to certain people, like, I don't know. They think that everything that they want is like why you're online or something, and I just feel like Instagram's just never, I feel like Instagram's just a place where a lot of men message because they feel like you should procure some sort of hair content for them. So, and I feel like I just get better engagement on YouTube. YouTube's my happy home. And I just wish there's a way I could keep all my pictures from Instagram and delete it. Like have them, it's just since I got rid of my websites due to them wanting to charge me like $1,000 a year. That's why I got rid of my art website and my hair website. I mean, I can reinstall them as WordPress, but I just wasn't updating my websites anyway. I feel like unless you're updating your blogs all the time, it's not really worth it anymore. But anyhow, I probably should stop because I might chatter myself into the next century.